that why did you actually choose to pick an unconventional sport? I mean, given that it's yet to take off, in our
Because the sport, from the day that I did started as a hobby, gave me a sense of being alive. Coming from India, we have been told how a woman should behave, what a woman should do, what a woman can do or can't do. And when I did get into the sport, it was more about breaking all these barriers and shackles. And being on the bike was a feeling of coming alive every single time. The adrenaline rush. I think that's why I kept going back. And there is a beginning for every sport, and I think I didn't have a lot of inspirations to look at for women in this sport in the beginning, but I want to be able to inspire more. As I aspire to inspire more women to take up this sport.
So what's the toughest terrain you've navigated so far?
For me, so this is one format of racing. I do two other formats of racing, that's road racing and cross country rallying. Cross country rallying is the most difficult part that I have done. There was a race called Morocco Desert Challenge. It happens for 8 days across dunes and places like 400, 500 kilometers over 8 days. I think that race was the most difficult race I've ever done.
So what kind of training goes into this?
Training is not something that we do just before the race, but it's something that goes throughout the year, from physical fitness, skill training, as well as the mental fitness, nutrition, like all of these things are put in place. And before a race, we probably go there a month before to get acclimatized, understand the terrain, understand how it works. So that's how the training is.
So given this is a risky sport, have you ever had this second thoughts? I mean, especially if you suffered an injury and then you thought, no, I should just switch. It's time for me to switch my profession.
I've broken multiple bones and I've almost lost my life. And I think the first one was breaking a collarbone and going to win my first national championship, to almost losing my life in my first debut at the FIM World Cup, where I ruptured my pancreas, and the following year I won the World Cup in the same race, to breaking my hands 2 years ago. I think accidents or obstacles are a part of any game. It's about how you can persevere them and be able to not let them pull you down and move forward and create history.
Yeah, but you were very determined. What about your family? Did they support your decision?
Yeah, they have been. Like, I think from the time I broke my collarbone to all the other accidents, not once has my mother or my brother stopped me from like wanting to do what I want. They've just been my support system and been there for me through all of it. And I've had coaches and great ecosystems around me that have helped me come back stronger.
Okay. So you're the first motorsport athlete to win a world title, right?
Yes.
So whenever you're competing, is there a kind of pressure that, because the expectations are very high?
Not at all. I think achievements are in the past. And when I'm at a race, it's to be able to finish the race that day. Achievements are a part and parcel of you doing everything right. You cannot have the pressure of being the best going into another race. It's about giving your best and creating more athletes like that.
And how lucrative is this profession?
Not very, because as other sports, this is definitely a very, like you mentioned, a very, how do I put this? It's a very risky sport, and the amount of effort that goes into it doesn't have your same amount of recognition or money that is involved, because it doesn't have as much visibility like a cricket or badminton. Because when I did win the World Cup during the same time that we recently won a World Cup as well, like the government still recognizes people giving Arjuna awards for that sport, but we also do the same thing. We give our life and soul to be able to bring Lawrence to our country, but I think the visibility is damn low for that.
Okay, so what are the future tournaments and championships coming up?
For me, I am looking at participating as an Olympic. Like, it's as Olympics is for other sports. There is something called as Dakar. It's like the Olympic of off-road racing, motorsports, road racing. So I'm aiming at being at Dakar. That's one of my goals, along with the national championship in India, this racing, and doing the e-Explorer World Cup with racing. So these are the few things that I'm looking forward to.
And what's the message for aspiring motorsport enthusiasts?
Any sport isn't easy. Making a career in any sport isn't as rose